Hi there! In this video, I'm going to tell you about a new category of tool, the AI Superforecaster. These are real systems that are already operating in financial markets, and they are quietly becoming very good at what they do. First of all, the term Superforecaster is not new. It has been around for decades. It refers to people whose predictions have been shown through statistical analysis to be consistently more accurate than those of the general public or even domain experts. In other words, these are humans with data, intuition, and I would say a lot of luck. And one well-known person associated with this kind of forecasting skill is Nate Silver, who has made successful predictions about basketball, baseball, and even the US elections. The guy has received highly lucrative contracts specifically because of his ability to analyze data and predict outcomes. But now, with AI, we have a new category of Superforecaster that I have never been seen before. And it is probably not what you think. This is not about asking a chatbot about a particular stock. It is something far more complex and potentially far more powerful. And I believe AI Superforecasters are in an early stage. They are an early sign of a profound shift in how we make high-stakes financial decisions. So in this video, we are gonna cover first what AI Superforecasters are, second, how they actually work under the hood, and finally, why ignoring the critical risks associated with these systems could be a serious mistake for all of us. So, let's dive in. An AI Superforecaster is not simply a frontier AI model. The model is only the engine. The real innovation is the scaffold built around it. Think of the scaffold as everything the model receives before it makes a prediction. Instructions, prompts, tools, examples, real-time information, and a structured process for reasoning through the problem. This scaffold, combined with the power of the underlying model, is the secret sauce. It is what separates a model chatbot from a full AI superforecasting system. The difference is easy to understand. Asking an LLM directly for an answer is like asking a brilliant scientist for a quick opinion. Using an AI superforecaster instead is like giving that same scientist a research team, a collection of digital tools, access to fresh data, and a rigorous process for producing a deeply researched report. The scaffold works almost like a project manager. It breaks a large question into smaller sub-problems and assigns specialized agents and sub-agents to investigate each one. These agents can browse the web, analyze data, look at different scenarios, and even challenge each other. And many of these tasks are happening in parallel. So an AI Superforecaster doesn't simply produce a prediction about what might happen. It builds a case. It can give you a report with an structure containing evidence, sources, assumptions, alternative scenarios, and confidence estimates. In some systems, the underlying models may also be fine-tuned specifically for forecasting. But the bigger advantage often comes from the process surrounding the model, not just from the model itself. For example, an AI Superforecaster could use several different models to predict the winner of the FIFA World Cup. One might analyze historical performance, another could examine player injuries and team form. Others may study betting markets, experts' opinions, and expectations from the fans around the world. The system could then combine all those signals into a single forecast. Of course, the process is slower and more expensive than sending a simple prompt to ChatGPT or Claude, but that is because this is not really a conversation. It is a computational workflow designed to produce an structured and auditable forecast. Let's make this more concrete with an example. Right now, millions of people are asking the same question. Who is going to win the 2026 FIFA World Cup? This is exactly the kind of question an AI Superforecaster is designed to tackle. But instead of asking for a single team, I phrased the question like this. What is the probability that each national team will win the 2026 FIFA World Cup? And as you can see, it immediately performed a web search and realized that the tournament has reached its final stage. Only Spain and Argentina remain. And with new information, it rephrases the original question to run a categorical forecast on these two teams' final only. That small change in the actual world matters a lot. A normal chatbot might simply name a favorite team. However, a forecasting system has to estimate the chances of every serious contender. So I gave the system the question, and within a few minutes, it deployed several researchers, sub-agents, and analyzed information from hundreds of online sources. One agent studied historical World Cup results and international rankings. Another examined players' performance, injuries, squad depth, and likely lineups. A third model it looked at the tournament brackets and simulated thousands of possible matches. Other agents looked at the betting markets, expert analysis, tactical reports, and the expectations of the football fans around the world. Then, about 5 minutes later, and several dollars in computing costs, by the way, the system delivered its answer. But the important part is that it did not simply give me the name of the team. It showed its work. And the AI concluded that in this case, Spain has a 60% chance of winning. And if I wanted to inspect the forecast, the system provided the evidence behind it. Rankings, players, statistics, injury reports, betting data, historical results, and tactical analysis. Now, the question is that 60% chance for Spain and 40% for Argentina correct? We will not know until the final match, of course. The AI is not an oracle. It doesn't know the future, of course. What matters is that it produced an structured, evidence-based, and auditable forecast in just a few minutes. It transformed a passionate football debate into something more rigorous, a forecast with data, assumptions, sources, and confidence levels. And that capability is exactly why the financial world is paying attention right now. And yes, I have seen then there are people on social media claiming they have made a ton of money thanks to AI Superforecasters. That comes from using these systems on prediction markets like Kalshi or Tori market, which have become incredibly popular these days after they became legal in the US by the end of 2025. For financial executive, this is, the siren song of a new kind of alpha, an edge that cannot be easily replicated. For developers, it is a new frontier of high-value work, moving beyond chatbots to build systems that generate auditable intelligence. The key word there is auditable. Unlike other black box quant models, this AI gives you the why. You get the forecast plus the report that justifies it. This allows a human expert to review the logic, check the sources, and make a more informed final decision. But, of course, there are many issues with AI superforecasters. The very strength of these systems, the ability to produce convincing, well-reasoned reports, is also the greatest risk. This leads to three major issues. First, the automation bias. If an AI hands you a beautiful 200 pages report with 212 citations, for example, are you really going to check every single source? Are you going to question its core assumptions, or are you going to just trust it? The temptation to defer the machine's articulate reasoning will be immense. Second, the hallucinations problem now has catastrophic stakes and consequences. When a chatbot makes something up, it is kind of annoying, yes, for us as, simple users. But when a superforecaster sub-agent misinterprets a key sentence in a company's 10K filing, and that error informs something about the billion-dollar trade, that is, is a disaster. The scaffold reduces these errors, of course, but it does not eliminate them. And this leads to the third and more dangerous risk, systemic risk. What happens when every major hedge fund, bank, and trading firm starts using systems built on the same one or two frontier models? They will all start to think in the same way, one single direction. They will be fed the same news, read the same papers, and likely have similar flops in their reasoning scaffolds. This creates a monoculture of thoughts, which is extremely dangerous for a society as a whole. Because when one of them is wrong, they might all be wrong in the same way, at the same time. And this could lead to correlated trades all at the same massive scale, creating a market fragility we have never seen before. So, what is your takeaway from this video? Well, AI superforecasters are not a fad. They represent a genuine leap in our ability to reason about complex, uncertain futures. They combine the raw power of LLMs with the rigor of structured research processes. An AI superforecaster is not as special as it may sound. It is actually a frontier model wrapped in a research kind of scaffold. It works for real, but it still has a serious risk of automation bias and systemic fragility. The output is not magic at all. It is auditable, machine-generated analysis at a new scale and speed that humans just cannot match. The real takeaway is this: the human expert is not being replaced, but the job is changing. It is shifting from making the forecast to interrogating the AI forecast. Your value as a human is no longer in having the answer, but in knowing the right critical questions to ask to the machine. So here is a practical step for you. The next time you see a bold claim from an AI, don't just ask, what did it predict? Instead, ask, can I see the reasoning? Then ask, what are the 3 more likely ways the reasoning could get wrong? Start building that critical muscle now, because these systems are only getting more powerful every single day and also more persuasive. And if you want to understand the frameworks for building and auditing these kinds of AI systems, consider subscribing to the channel so I will know you are interested in this topic. Have a great day and see you in the next one. Bye.